Easta Sasaway, as Chief Halftown would say, and welcome to Sunshine Studios, home of Homicide Detective magazine, and also home of America's Best Crime Writer, Barry Bowe, that's me, author of the classic outlaw biker saga, Born to Be Wild. As a courtesy to you, there are no intrusive third-party ads. But a word of caution before you continue. Each episode of Homicide Detective contains explicit content, such as strong language and depiction of violence. And as the title implies, that violence includes graphic murder. Therefore, these episodes might not be suitable for all audiences. Forewarned is forearmed. And now, a quick introduction to Homicide Detective magazine. Bernard McFadden founded True Detective Mysteries in 1924, a monthly magazine that published fictional mysteries. Eventually, he started mixing in true crime murder stories, and by the mid-1930s, fiction was out, true crime was in. In 1941, he changed the name to True Detective. The magazine caught on big and sold millions of copies every month, which of course led to numerous imitators who tried to siphon off his success. But True Detective flourished for the next 20 years, until the 1960s, when the three television networks, ABC, NBC, and CBS, started producing detective shows. Yet True Detective stayed healthy until 1995, when a countless number of networks were producing both crime fiction and true crime TV shows. So, the True Detective Group ceased operations. Fortunately for me, the True Detective Group published my first true crime story in August 1991 edition of its official detective imprint. In the 4 years between August 1991 and September 1995, I wrote somewhere around 100 true murder stories from coast to coast and on the Caribbean islands of St. Thomas, St. Croix, and Puerto Rico. I used a couple pen names back then because, well, I was teaching school at the time and didn't want to create any problems for myself. The one I used most often was Stephen Barry by flip-flopping my first and middle names. Now, nearly 30 years later, I say, what the hell? Let's go back to those roots. Let's revise the concept of the detective magazine. And let's call it Homicide Detective. And let's make it a weekly production, both in written format and as an audio podcast. Initially, I'm shooting for one story and one broadcast per week, and then we'll see what happens after that. I said no third-party ads, but I'll be giving one of my books a quick plug at the end, not intrusively at the beginning or in the middle. Stick around for the plug if you wish. Today's plug, Born to Be Wild. It's available at Amazon as a Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. So thanks for stopping in today. Till next time. See you.